Rain lashed down. The wind howled like a banshee, its voice a mournful shriek against ancient stone. High atop the Dragon's Tooth Mountains, the Temple of Whispering Stars stood defiant. Lightning split the bruised sky. For a fleeting moment, the temple's obsidian spires gleamed, stark and majestic. This was no ordinary storm. The very air crackled with an unnatural energy, a palpable sense of foreboding. The temple had endured millennia. It had seen empires rise and crumble, yet this storm felt different. It carried a chilling portent, a whisper of an ancient prophecy stirring from its long slumber. The storm was its herald, a dramatic overture to a play of shadows and light that was about to unfold. For those who knew how to listen, the wind carried more than just rain. It carried the faint, chilling echoes of an approaching doom.
This is no mere weather. Something is awakening, something ancient and terrible.
Savannah Steele shivered, though not entirely from the cold. Her fingers traced the outline of a particularly ominous glyph on the wall. She was an explorer, driven by an insatiable curiosity and an uncanny ability to perceive the subtle shifts in magical energies.
The structural integrity is failing. We need to find the inner sanctum, and quickly. Our mission depends on it, Savannah. Sentimentality for old stones won't protect us from what's coming.
Beside her stood Maya Evergreen, her pragmatic counterpart. Maya's gaze was fixed on a crumbling section of the ceiling.
The storm is but a symptom. The true sickness festers deep within, the veil thins.
The dynamic between the three was a delicate balance of perception, pragmatism, and ancient wisdom. The temple was a labyrinth, its corridors twisted and turned like the coils of a slumbering serpent. Faded tapestries depicting scenes of a luminous utopian world hung in tatters. Savannah felt a pull, a subtle thrumming in the ancient stones that guided her steps.
According to the schematics, the Chamber of Echoes should be just beyond this passage. It's said to be the heart of the temple, where the veil between worlds is at its thinnest. If the threat is manifesting, it will likely be there.
Maya consulted a battered map, its parchment crinkled and stained.
The path is not always the most obvious one.
As he pressed the stone, a hidden doorway began to slide open, revealing a passage darker and more foreboding. The underlying threat was becoming more palpable with every step they took. The air itself felt heavy, charged with an unseen energy that prickled the skin. As they stepped through the hidden passage, the air shimmered. The temple around them seemed to dissolve, replaced by visions of a time long past. They saw Kale, younger, his features less careworn but already etched with a profound sorrow. He stood before a shimmering portal, not unlike the one they feared now, but this one pulsed with a benevolent silvery light. Beside him stood others, guardians like himself, their faces noble and resolute. The vision shifted. A shadow fell upon the idyllic scene. The guardians fought valiantly, their luminous weapons clashing against creatures of nightmare. The flashback culminated in a terrible choice. To save Ethelgard, Baldur had been forced to seal the original corrupted gateway. The vision faded, leaving them back in the cold, dark passage, the weight of Kyle's ancient burden settling heavily upon them. The passage opened into a vast circular chamber. This was the Chamber of Echoes. Unlike the rest of the temple, it was not dark. A soft, ethereal luminescence emanated from the very walls.
In the center of the chamber, the air shimmered and swirled, creating a translucent veil, a gateway that pulsed with a gentle, inviting light.
It's beautiful.
Savannah gasped, her hand flying to her mouth.
The map had spoken of a sanctum arcanum, a hidden heart within the temple.
Ethelgard, it endures.
Kale stepped forward, his ancient eyes filled with a bittersweet recognition.
This path was created after the Great Sundering, a hidden way known only to those who carry the spark of the first light. It is through here that we must pass to warn them, to prepare them.
With a shared glance of trepidation and resolve, the trio approached the shimmering gateway. As Savannah reached out her hand, the surface of the veil rippled like water. This was the hidden utopia, the Oasis paradise they had sworn to protect. Stepping through the portal was like stepping into a dream. Ethelgard unfolded before them, a realm of impossible beauty. Crystalline rivers flowed with liquid light, weaving through landscapes of bioluminescent flora. Floating islands hung serenely in a sky the color of twilight. The air was alive with the soft chiming of unseen bells and the whisper of harmonious energies.
It's more than I ever imagined, she breathed, tears welling in her eyes. How could anything wish to destroy such perfection?
The beauty was almost heartbreaking, knowing the shadow that now sought to extinguish it.
It's beautiful, undeniably, she conceded. But the corruption Kale spoke of, it's already begun to seep in, hasn't it?
She pointed towards a distant mountain range, where the vibrant colors seemed subtly muted.
The Shadowlands encroach, he confirmed. We are running out of time to stop its advance before it consumes everything.
Guided by Kale, they journeyed towards the blighted region Maya had noticed. The transition was gradual, yet horrifying. The vibrant, glowing flora gave way to twisted, blackened husks. The crystalline rivers became sluggish, their waters murky and tainted. The air grew heavy and acrid, carrying the faint scent of decay and despair.
This corruption, it feels like it's draining the very life from the world.
She could sense the pain of the land, the silent screams of the dying flora. Finally, they reached the source. Before them loomed a colossal, jagged tear in the fabric of reality itself. It was the Dark Portal, an obsidian maw that pulsed with a sickening violet-black energy.
Behold, Kale said, his voice a low growl of ancient fury and sorrow, the source of the blight, the gateway through which the Night Eternal seeks to claim this world.
The air around the Dark Portal was thick with menace. Shadowy figures, vaguely humanoid but distorted and terrifying, patrolled its perimeter. They moved with a predatory grace, their red eyes scanning the blighted landscape. The whispers from the portal intensified, trying to worm their way into the minds of the Guardians. Savannah clutched her head, fighting against the insidious mental assault. Maya drew her energy blade, its faint blue glow a small beacon of defiance.
We knew this wouldn't be easy, she said, her voice tight but unwavering. These creatures are merely pawns. The true threat lies beyond that portal. We need a plan. We can't just charge in blindly.
They sense us, he warned. The portal itself is aware. We must be vigilant, not only against the physical threat, but against the corruption that seeks to turn us against each other.
The shadowy figures began to turn their grotesque heads towards the hidden position of the Guardians. The confrontation they had journeyed so far to face was upon them. A chilling wind swept from the dark portal, carrying with it the stench of utter desolation. The shadowy figures, now fully alerted, began to advance. Their numbers seemed to swell, more of them pouring from the obsidian maw. The ground trembled beneath their advance. The very air crackled with malevolent energy. Savannah felt a surge of fear, but she pushed it down, her perceptive abilities now focusing on the patterns of the enemy's approach.
They're not mindless, she stammered. There's a will guiding them, a single hateful intelligence. I can feel it, pressing against my mind.
Then we fight that will, she declared, for Ethelgard, for the light.
The dawn of Ethelgard is in peril, he intoned, but even the longest night must eventually yield.